Mouse Sports have hit the ground running so far versus Kinguin. It's been a swift start to the day here in our second week and the very last day of it. We have already seen Nuke go the way of Mouse Sports by a very swift game. 16-5 scoreline. Taylor Swift, indeed. There he is. Matt Trivette is joining me alongside Chad.
You said it wrong again.
Hopefully they shake it off.
Trivette. It's a
I
really
would
softy.
prefer if they shake it off. You're right. I agree with that.
Shake it off. Shake it off.
That's a really good song.
It actually is. It's very uplifting.
Yeah.
It makes me feel very special and like.
We need songs like that in our lives.
You know, I'm a special person.
You know who needs to put in a special performance right now?
Segue. I love it. Cbble. Talk to me.
Kinguin, because that was pretty abysmal, really. They didn't really get a foothold on that T half, which is very important, and then not to be able to lock it down on the CT half and give yourself a chance is also not ideal, especially on a map like Nuke. But coming over to a map like Cobblestone, the jury's still out if this is a T-sided map or a CT-sided map. I think it depends on the team. I don't think you can narrow it down.
I mean, I think it's a
spectator-sided map.
I had this discussion with Henry just the other day when we were casting, and the resounding argument was like, okay, it comes down to who's leading. Because some leaders really have like the really strong T calls, and others just feel like they can position their units in a way in which makes the CT side too strong. And usually we see it change just by the leader or by the team.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But I mean, if you keep your eyes on, thank you. But if you keep your eyes on Mouse Sports now, I mean, you have to remember that they've got Lambert, who I have no idea how much he adds to this team at all. But he stands behind them at lands.
He's a good bloke.
He's a good lad.
Yeah.
Good load of laughs.
Yeah.
And, I mean, he's there for a reason, right? Of course, filling the void of Kassad after his departure.
So this is the interesting thing, especially with all these roster shuffles and only seeing teams for the first time in this league or seeing very little of them, and we only get to see one map here, there, and everywhere. It's so difficult to make a prediction in terms of how they're going to approach the game. They might just completely change things up now that Nico's not in the team, right? Or they might change the positions around or whatever.
I would.
Yeah, you may as well. You have a good opportunity to. You have players who have had to be extremely versatile during Nico's tenure, so they're not worried about change. They're definitely not going to be resistant to it.
Yeah.
And you can give other people star roles in the team and possibly see them do better. The ones who we were saying we're disappointed in, the Kinguin, is where the spotlight should be in, because this is where they have the opportunity to have a really good map, just like I thought on Nuke. This is where they should be able to set the pace and the tempo just with their cool gimmicky executes, right? And we didn't really get to see that.
Yeah, in fact, both of you, well, I was going to say both your predictions, excuse me. Chad, you went for Kinguin your prediction last time.
I'm always right, so I always for Mouse Sports.
Matt, it was a well-calculated prediction, but I'm going to need it again from both of you. You going to stick to the Mouse Sports guns?
16-14.
Wow.
To
Mouse Sports.
Okay, and Chad.
When I flip-flopped the other night, I was wrong on both accounts. So I'll just stick with Kinguin merely because it might come off.
Yeah. The desk is split. Let's head over to our casters and find out if anyone over at the caster desk. Can either of you do splits, Pansy, Henry?
Not anymore, Alex.
How long ago were you able to, Henry? Were you saying there's a time where you could perform this?
I became a caster, I could do it, yeah.
Oh, no, it's all changed.
Not much exercise goes into my body these days, so, yeah.
Terrible.
But a shame for everyone.
Well, I'm sure Alex would appreciate if you could get a little bit more limber.
Yeah.
As you were. So at least he can make that point again. But we are waiting for the game to start up. But this is a better map for Kinguin overall. We've seen them previously doing better on this.
I'm going to make an audacious claim here and
here
say
we go.
Kinguin are going to win this like 16-6. That's going down right now.
You're going 16-6.
Yeah, write it down.
Yeah, here we go. We've got 16-14 for Matt there with
I think Kinguin, I've cast them a lot on this map. I think they're excellent at it. And I think Nuke, they just didn't know that they ever got rolling at all. They've had some time now to work out what's going wrong, and they'll recalculate themselves, and we'll see them come out all guns blazing, especially with this CT start as well. They win the pistol. I've called it. I've called the scoreline. What are you going with? Are you going to say, I'll just stick with it because it might come in?
No, I'm actually saying Kinguin's going to win it, but it's going to be close.
Okay, all right.
I hope that what we saw was just Kinguin don't like Nuke, and now we're coming to a map that's better, and we see a better, more competitive game. But we'll see, because we've got the raid boss again, or the Superman coming out from Oscar.
Yeah.
And this looks like a straight-up big hit towards B. Problem being, though, Kinguin are ready, and those USPSs aren't missing in the hand of Mouz, so Oscar's going to have to do some heavy lifting here, or at least hope that someone else does as well.
Well, quite a standard round so far from the terrorists. Everyone's smoking tools connected these days and going for those fast B plays, but it's going to be Kinguin with the man advantage now. 3 versus 2, Speedy and Lau to try and do what they can, taking a lot of damage here as well, and it ends as quickly as that. There we go, Lauren. I told you if they win the pistol, it's going to happen. The thumping begins, and it's going to be 1-0. Like I said, mouse board's there. That's pretty much the tactic almost every team's running right now. You're getting towards B. You're doing that one smoke towards connector, splitting towards the B bomb side. But mouse, he actually did a very good job. Okay, no idea how they didn't look like the Christmas aim. He's got a little bit lucky that first kill, but you know what? It's absolutely fine. Interesting enough, we have the force spike coming in from mouse boards. Of course, they didn't get the bomb down. It's quite standard stuff. UMP though for Lau, a little bit different. Normally you see an array of Tech 9s, but Tech 9s, PD50s, and the UMP. He's got a head armor, makes him very vulnerable to these SMGs and M4 combos.
Yeah, Mihu is going to have heard everything coming from Mouseport so far, at least 2 of them, and you can see the pinch coming in through Danger as well. Lol and Chris J trying to get a bit of a pinch towards Long, utilize, I guess, those Tech 9s UMPs as close as they can, kind of work their way through towards that A side, but it's going to be a little bit tricky considering Sparrow's getting no pressure from middle just yet. He's aware that that's what they want to be doing, well, that's his weak spot, but so far no threat. Now it comes in a little bit late in the day, and it doesn't mean that he can adjust well. Finds Lol, and so far keeping this one in check. A little bit of a flank from Rallen as well, just to add insult to injury. This looks like another close, well, I wasn't going to say close, to say clean round in the end as Dennis misses everything.
Ah, that was close.
It was very close, Henry.
Close to a kill.
That's about it.
Well, there it is. It's going to be 2-0 for Kinguin, and the force spy doesn't really amount to too much there for, I'm not going to say German side, we want to say European side. This is like, it's kind of like the mini phase now, right? They have the opportunity to take in players like Lau from Spain, Chris J from Netherlands, and like, it seems like there's not really a German side anymore. There's only 2 Germans left, right? So, Full Eco comes in, Glocks, a single dollar invested, and it should be quite a simple procedure here for me. He kicks things up aggressively towards middle, takes down Dennis. If they get a bomb down here, I'll be very impressed indeed. So let's see what they can do.
And I like this from Rallen as well. Look at him straight away pushing up. He knows, well, he's just going to feed the information through to the others. It gets a little bit dangerous when you're just sitting out there that long. A little bit brazen from Sparrow, then not going to back away at all. Rallen's encroaching towards it anyway. They can get that info back. That shouldn't fall into the hands of anyone, particularly Oscar's. Close, but close does not equate to picking up the gun, especially when there's other players watching it. So the clean 3 come in for Kinguin.
Clean 3 indeed, and this is what we call the bonus run. I do see an upgrade coming in. You can see, so MP9, 2 UMPs. The idea behind this now, it does make sense. Kinguin did this in the second half of Nuke, but didn't really make sense, and I explained it at the time. If you're chasing like that and you manage to get yourself in a position where you can actually win a round, you should be forcing. This is absolutely fine. They keep 2 UMPs, and it means they do win this round. They're in a fantastic position economically going forward. So changing the guns around, Furlan will be given that M4 towards Mouse. As you get into quite a fast B execution of things from our sports.
And for Kinguin, not too shabby for them either. They've got 4 players here early, leaving just the Sparrow to kind of solo out on A with the AWP. He's fine with it, as long as he doesn't feel threatened by Long. He can just hold this and leave those with the UMPs and slightly weaker weapons, I guess, to deal with what's coming towards that B side. And already Dennis is out, but on his own, very isolated here. And if Rallen got that, that could have been deadly, but he doesn't. Mouse is the one to finally catch him, but Mishu's waiting on the edge of that smoke. Flashes himself through, but he does only catch 2, but that is perfectly fine. The trade wasn't quick enough for Oscar, but he does get it eventually. This is a quick fire round, but it is just settling towards the hands of Kinguin until then. Lol on the flank, catches them out perfectly, claiming to and allowing Speedy to find the final player. Means that Mousesports do pick up the round that I guess Kinguin were aware of could happen. They did go on the bonus buy there. Well, non-buy.
Exactly, yeah. So they managed to, you can see right now, that's reflected on the weapons coming in. I think there's only 1 player down to a pistol. They could drop him over the weapons. That's going to be Spiro going to the AWP by the looks of things. So Furlan, he'll be down to a CZ, which I believe is in spawn. Has he got anything? What has he got? A CZ, okay. So that's what Spirit dropped him. He takes the AWP this round, and we'll see whether Oscar can go toe-to-toe. He seems to be AWPing once again on this terrorist side.
Yeah, boost comes in. Maybe this is what we are going to see as maybe the early factor for this team, and that is a beautiful beginning. Rallen being denied any control towards platform. Mouz now, player for Kinguin, of course, just a little more lonely towards those stairs. Going to be a little bit more cautious. Just holding a bit more of a passive angle. Can't be as brazen with the peak as he was previously. You can see the rest of Mouse as well, aware there could be that flank around the back. Oscar and Lol keeping a tab towards that, but no one is there this time. As the rest of Kinguin now just wait to see what comes their way. Could be some pressure towards drop building soon, and that's where Furlan's waiting, which could be a problem considering he only has that CZ.
Man advantage comes in. They're actually focusing towards drop down as well. And as you said, that's where the CZ is waiting for them. AWP is in the hands of Oscar. He's changed his position up, nails the shot, 5-on-3. They don't have to commit just yet. They've got such a huge advantage here. Oscar looking for a little bit more, but just bleed out the CTs with the remaining utility they have remaining, and it's actually going to be Mouse trying to do what he can. Good shot from Chris J to shut it down, and indeed the round as well.
Yes, Sparrow might be looking for a way out, and Oscar almost denied him it, down to 16 HP. The tag on the way through just about keeping Cbble alive. So he's going to try and find a way to keep hold of this orb. Desperate to keep it into those hands, but Spiddy is quick on the chase. Lol going all the way around T-spawn in case he'd maybe made it that far, but not to be the case. He is just waiting up on long, and if they get that away, it'd be a lovely touch for the mouse side.
Calling them mouse sports now.
Mouse sports, of course. Sorry, Henry.
Stick
I don't want to
rules.
upset you.
You're doing a good job of doing that so far. So. It's going to be a 5 versus 1. Cbble nailing the shot. I thought the flashman was going to get him, but that gives away his position. He should be going down momentarily. No way Mouse Sports will allow him to survive, and there it is. Final kill comes in, and that should be the money in the bin now for Kinguin. So that great 3-0 start, but Mouse Sports coming to life here, and once the gun rounds begin, and a pause comes in, I would say this is not going to be tactical at this point. It's a little bit too early for that. No one's dropped out of the server just yet, but okay, I think it was the coach for Mouse Sports who's having some issues. You can see he's joining spectators, so maybe a little bit of technical difficulties going on.
But what we can look at is the fact that Oscar had a blistering round then, 4 kills if I'm not mistaken as well. So when he is on the up on the T side, so far he's been providing a lot towards the side.
Do you know what the good thing about Pro League is, especially these sort of teams coming into these games? You know what the maps are in advance, right? So you could actually... LMBT can sit down with them and okay, these are the maps we need to play, this is the tactics good to go with, kind of try and keep it simple. You can see they've got executions working for them. It's not that they've been wrecked in a beta and they have to just try and make ends meet, right? So that's what the cool thing about this league is, that these teams coming in from a roster change have a couple of days at least to work out how they're going to approach situations and manage to actually have some executions. We've seen it so far. Mouse Sports with our B side, they're looking on point so far. A much more strategic game than we're used to seeing. I kind of built it up in the pre-game. Whenever Nico was in this team, like, a lot of the philosophy was based around, okay, Nico, you go and see what you can do on the A side of the map. If you can get 2 or 3 kills, we'll just be ready to go towards B. As soon as you kill someone, we'll strike over here, we'll hope for the best, and it'll be quite a loose call, quite a couple of flashbangs straight into the bomb site. But I like this approach. This is looking quite promising from Mouse Sports now, actually having set executions and relying on the teamwork to come in. Oscar's looking confident with the AWP. Christian and him seem to have this nice synergy where Christian is actually very good with the rifles as well. It's not like he's being limited right now. They were back in the day when the original Mouse Sports lineup came in, he was quite shaky at the AWP, and he'd actually fall back the AWP responsibilities to Dennis, and that was actually a horrible affair. Like, Christian is one of those players who can be very good at rifles and very good at the AWP, but not necessarily confident with it all the time. So now he has Oscar to take over that responsibility. This team actually makes a lot more sense on paper.
I am very interested to see the new look Mouse Sports. How long it lasts, how long they can go, if this is just, you know, a peak after coming back together, having this roster like, all right, guys, this is us now.
I think if
it actually stabilizes and continues and builds, I think this could be actually a very interesting look.
The problem is, like, Speedy, if anyone's going to go next, it has to be him, right? Yeah. Let's be honest, he's had the worst stats the last few events, like, in the entire tournament. I don't necessarily think he's a bad player, but online he seems to, like, choke quite severely. And if anything was to change next, I think he'd be the obvious choice. But regardless, they're doing pretty well in the last 2 previous rounds. There's another Eka coming in. Ryland's got the Zeus, so watch out for that. It's always a little bit exciting. And he's pretty far removed, so maybe we're going to stick on him. I know it's E-League. E-League, Pro League. Don't get those
close
confused,
enough,
Henry.
You know, close. It doesn't matter.
Confused.
You know,
Pro League tradition when Russia is spectating that we follow the Zeus player.
Yeah, it's normally Anders who demands it as well. He loves the Zeus, loves it. Something to do with the squeal, apparently.
I like that noise as well. Alex has a very good impression.
Oh, maybe we can hear it afterwards. But so far, what we're hearing is heads rolling. Dennis is to be precise. Sparrow somehow found that, and now we might see what can happen. Drop, but Speedy will check the corner, so not going to be getting away with murder there, Mouse. Smoke goes in. And Mouse being a little bit tentative here, Mouse Sports. Looking for ways through, a little bit of a split now down towards platform, and they're just starting to power on. This shouldn't be a problem anymore. They shouldn't lose any more players, but maybe Mish, you can do something. Absolutely not. Overwhelmed, dealt with. And Oscar, even though on 1 HP, desperate for the open. Well, he gets what's coming to him, I guess.
Wow, it's actually quite an interesting situation now. Ryland with the AWP in a 2 versus 1. Oh, if he gets that shot, I'd say it's possible. But Lau, as soon as he fires, he manages to take the pace, take the aggro away from his teammate, and secure the round. 3-3 now. And Kinguin actually getting himself in that difficult situation they were on Nuke as well, where they're buying into rounds, not really having enough to fully work with. It'll be 4 and 4 in the Famous, but no kits purchased, no AWP as well. So this is a chance for Mouse to really capitalize, and Oscar's going to have a lot of room to move here, especially with that AWP, and we'll see whether he can get the first pick. Heads towards A this time, be focusing heavily towards B. Going to see if anyone goes aggro in the middle area. Just flashing his teammates in for now, it seems, but there will be smokes out.
Yeah, going to turn attention towards long as no one knows who's going to be coming up there. If there is going to be a play coming through it, not to be the case now, but Oscar does have the bomb, so keep a tab towards if that's their intention to actually follow this A hit through, or if they do back away at the moment. to be fair, Lowell and Dennis are relatively committed towards middle. Oscar's joining them, Spitty's coming over. It looks like they do want to really start pestering towards A. But no real control towards long yet. Could cause a problem. So Sparrow's just waiting on the other side. And so far, mousesports hitting the brakes.
Yeah, much slower now. They're actually focusing towards the A side of the map. Probably the first time we've seen them on this side of the map as well. So showing some presence there. They normally leave one player. Okay, so Lau on his screen right now. They've got the map control that side of the map. Leave him there. Here's the opportunity now to walk in that side, try and find a kill, or he comes in and finds the rotations once his teammates commit towards B, which they have been doing a lot as well. This could work out very nicely, but for now, Spiro, he's not moving.
This is great stuff. Kinguin only have 2, and specifically 1 focus towards Plateau.
3 on A, so this could actually work out pretty well.
Now, mouz for Kinguin is sat on that tree position, so he does get a nice little bit of a chance here. So it's not something you instantly check on. So we'll see how much he can do with this. He might just back away from it, wait for a little bit of help. The flashes are coming through. It's hindered the approach. It's allowed mouz to do what he's just done there. Christian and Dennis fall by the wayside, but the bite comes back from mousesports, and it's a good one as well. That's the site almost cleared. Mihu, are you gonna walk through that smoke? No, he waits at the side of drop, slows it down, and now this 3v2 comes in.
And Lau's approach from the side as well, it works perfectly. You can see how caged the CTs look right now. 3 on 2 all of a sudden. Still have a chance, and this is Mihu finds Speedy, and the bomb only just goes down, but Oscar, what a shot that was! And he finishes it off with the Tech 9 as well. Fantastic stuff from him. That was a great overall strategy from mousesports. I actually really liked the look of that from the build-up. He kind of said what their options were, and Lau, he finds that kill after they get a bit of trouble towards B, and he keeps the CTs guessing as to what he's going to do there. And Oscar continues that amazing form he's been showing on the previous map as well.
Oscar is quite the bookend to a mousesports play at the moment. He seems to be able to close down these rounds so beautifully for them. With a little bit of flair we saw just a moment ago on Nuke as well, just to be follow up here. Now, of course, Kinguin suffering quite severely. CZs, a nade, a little bit of armor on mouz. Mihu with a flash, it's so limited, but looks like just going to try and focus around drop, see if they can get something away. We do have the UMP with Chris J, so he'll be just trying to vie for a bit of attention here. Get himself building into it, but he does eventually just fall down to the C's. He gives that one away, and that will slip into the hands of the CTs. Now, this becomes a little bit more interesting. We've got 4 players alive for Kinguin, 3 for mouz, and they certainly aren't looking as potent this time around.
Yeah, maybe getting a bit ahead of themselves there, getting carried away with the victory that Oscar just got them in that previous one. So CZ now, they haven't managed to recover any rifles yet, which is good news for mousesports as they head towards A, and Lau hits an absolutely magnificent shot down towards Mihu, neutralizes the situation to a 3 on 3, and Oscar's looking to get aggressive once again. He's so good at that Tech 9. Nails another headshot.
It's just disgusting, isn't it? He's running around with the Tech 9, up on his back, does not care. And I guess if you're in these situations, it kind of works, especially when you're Oscar and you're that confident. Speedy with a nice bit of timing on the flank as well, coming around the back. And he does close down onto Furlan. So after the situation looking a little shaky, they actually do stabilize.
Yeah, they lose the first 2 frags there, but going back towards A seemed to be the correct decision. It was Lau who nails that magnificent shot towards the top of the middle. And here's that lovely replay. Got me a little bit hyped. It's quite rare for a Man CS, but that was actually pretty lovely. Wow. Team Kinguin, what's the response? Apparently it's double orbs. Rylan with the glass cannon as well, means he has no armor. Spiro sets his turret up towards the top and middle. And mousesports actually looking very good at the moment. 5 rounds in a row for them. Kinguin feeling the pressure once again after winning the pistol.
Yeah, I want to see how this double orb works out. Oscar still, of course, T-side playing it out. And Chris J snuck himself through towards Plateau. And now, I can imagine they might have heard the steps in towards the molly, but it doesn't matter. Chris J just decapitates mouz, and now we're going to see a bit of a trade out. At least Chris J will go down for this, so Kinguin not allowing that for free. But the problem is that it's not just towards B, it's hitting A as well. Oscar does get found, but Dennis replies. So again, mousesports not letting anything slip away from them yet, and the A side is completely free.
Yeah, that's not really good enough for the Orb. He only gets 1 kill there, and now advantage goes towards the terrorists, and the CTs is running out 1 by 1. They are going to get 1 player out towards the connected doors, but unfortunately, it's not really looking like they're playing together. Rylan now in a desperate situation. The bomb is down, and if he hits this shot, he has got a chance.
Yeah, this is game on now. Spitty in the 1v1. Nothing to play with bar what he's got in his hands. The AK, the armor, and the bomb is left on the site. Now, Rylan, no armor as well, so he is fragile. But certainly deadly at this point. Spitty looking for him, just hoping he'd be out in the open. Not to be the case at all, and Rylan's taking his time, and I like this.
Well, this is the thing now. They've lost track of each other. He obviously has no idea whether Speedy has the bomb or not, but yeah, I actually like this approach. He's actually ascertained he's not coming towards B, and now he actually has the flank coming in from middle as well. Speedy is going to be going quite slowly here, not living up to his name. But well, no.
And if you're Spitty, by default, do you plant for long? The last position noted for Rylan was over there, not to be the case. So, Rylan won't get a shot on it at least. But now, Spitty, would you consider this to be an option? Time passed, might slowly be considered, but certainly not the first thought that comes to mind. But it depends how quick you are on the trigger. And now the tag comes out. Spitty is lower now. Still waits, and he does pounce in the end. Speedy will close it out, luckily, in a way there. That felt like Rylan almost had that in his hands. The tag didn't quite do the job initially, but still, Speedy wins it out for them.
Yeah, he certainly does. He gets a little bit lucky there, like you said. He gets tagged up through that. I think Rylan had outplayed him, like to all intents and purposes, and he actually managed to get all the way around towards T-spawn and in towards long A. But Speedy gets legged, manages to survive and win the 1v1. It's going to be 6-3 now. 6 rounds in a row for mousesports. So CZs, PD50s, a couple of smokes here. Rylan, he's got the HE grenade. Not really much they can do with this round. The maximum loss bonus not really enough to fully invest on the CT side. So in terms of a stack, not really much going on. 3 towards B, 2 on A. And Speedy, he's patrolling towards drop down. Oscar with the AWP. Trying to see if anyone walks into his crosshair.
Frustrating series, I can imagine, for Kinguin so far, with Nuke not too far away.
Well, luckily,
and they come into this.
mousesports won't win another round, because I predicted 16-6, so that's
Of course. So this is the round Kinguin just kicked back in on.
Told you.
And, well, Henry apparently tells no lies. Dennis might have other ideas, though, which could be the problem. And Oscar now controlling the angle, seeing if anyone would dare walk out, try and play into this. It will allow likes of Dennis to kind of slip through. But Kinguin are waiting, and Oscar's caught a glimpse. He can surely relay all this information trickling through towards Dennis, and he does. But will they expect more? They don't need to expect it. Oscar is quick enough and well-trained enough to wait patiently and to be fed as he waits on the edge.
This is looking very promising from mousesports here. Not giving anything away in these anti-eco scenarios. That was something they're actually quite famous for. Even when Nico was in the team as well, that was so frustrating. They'd get this great spell of rounds and something would go horribly wrong and the team would just drop off completely. They're looking quite composed at the moment.
Yeah, and that'd be when Yanko tweets out just the most beautiful things
yeah,
about
that's when he tilts as well.
It is a beautiful thing to see. But 3-7 at the moment. mousesports, it has felt quite close at times. We have seen a couple of 1v1s, a couple of close rounds going back and forth. But at the end of the day, mousesports are putting the rounds on the board. Now, I do see that double up coming back out again, but mousesports, very different, very quick, very to the point. It looks like they just want to take towards A, and they are doing it. Smoke goes down towards door, quick flashes go down, but Sparrow's still behind them at long. There's going to be a threat, surely in the back of their minds, and whether it's the back of minds or not, it's going to be the forefront of their minds here, as he's making a bit of a meal of that shot and now gets caught in between two of them. So, 3v2, Furlan on the site, Lowell in between him and Rylan, and Mal's nowhere to be seen. So Oscar's going to be slowly building his way up, but a tricky situation now for mousesports to work out from.
Lowell, easy kill. The timing, to be fair, Furlan was checking that position. The timing just horrible for him. Now 2 versus 1. Mouse up against 2 mousesports players. He's got the kip, 1 smoke, and just been out-positioned here. It's been a really challenging clutch situation for him.
Yeah, Oscar making these angles almost impossible to play with. Lowell could have been there to help him, but Oscar just completely ignoring the fact that could be a possibility. Maybe just too late, maybe a little distracted, but no matter what happened, Mouz is now very possibly in this. What on earth was that? Lowell just goes wandering out. The AWP's now a nice little pickup. He's got a kit and a defuse to boot as well. Kinguin getting themselves finally back on the board in a round that seemed to just fizzle out to nothing.
Yeah, I guess at that point, I was just found it strange that Oscar wasn't scoping at that point. Like, it's not like he can really hear the scope of that range. You know he's going to be coming out towards the connector as well. He was hoping to have a little bit more time, I guess. Got caught off guard, and Lowell, same story for him as well, but a really nice shot there from Mouz. Problem is, only 1 player survives for the CTs. If they lose this round, that's a really harsh reset coming in as well. So they need to guarantee they win this one. Yes, they save an AWP, but there's a FAMAS out, a UMP as well. Plenty of money left over for mousesports. And if they do take this, which is quite likely on paper right now, that could be a double eco coming in. So what's the play here from the CTs? Do they go for anything aggressive? If send 4 players towards B, he's alone on the A site. He's actually towards long A for now. Trying to see if he can find a frag, but he's got 3 players heading towards his position. He can hear the flashbangs coming in, buys himself some time with that smoke grenade. Good nade, though.
Oh, lovely. 3 players connected to. Look at that. Chris J, Oscar, Dennis, all down to around 62, 64 for Chris J. Beautiful work for a solo player as well. Yet to call support either. So we'll see how long he plays this one out. You do start wondering, it's all about how Mishu feels about this. Does he get pressure? Does he think, okay, they might be walking up middle now? So far, he feels comfortable enough to leave 4 players over by B. A bit of a gambit, a bit of a gamble, I guess you could say, for him. But so far, no massive commit from Mouz. You've got Dennis slowly working up long towards danger, clearing out. Lowell still in middle, but we know that mousesports have rotated away from this before.
Some of the advantage for now. CTs lead the way in damage. He's going to be flashed by his own teammate there. That didn't work out too well, but luckily for him, the teammate will back him up. It's going to be Furlan to take down Lau.
Now, Lau last time was the player on the flank, so maybe a couple of second thoughts, but now there certainly won't be. ChrisJ showing his hand or showing some presence. They're going to have to start believing this. And Ryland's a little late on the rotate. Dennis already there, finds him quickly. And now Furlan's amongst them, though. That's a problem. He's in a really weird position for these guys to deal with. They can't cross up easily, but it doesn't matter. Dennis watches for it, and now mouz trying to watch the cross. Doesn't expect Oscar to be already watching that sort of angle, and he is. So, bomb plant comes in. 1v3, not looking so likely at this point.
No, and especially we've got the AWP as well. That's a nightmare weapon to have in these sort of clutches. It was a 2v1, maybe you go for it. I don't think this is possible, but he does manage to find a first kill, but he falls straight back. He knows this is a full reset. That's why I said it. If he needs to save his orb, that's all he really can do. His teammates will have absolutely nothing to work with going to the next round. So looks like mouz won't bother with the hunt here. They want to keep their 2 AKs alive. They're securing the round for now. That was a weird round. So Kinguin got that first pick, and then Mihu decided to commit. And instead of falling back and think, okay, we have the lesser weaponry here, we've got this advantage, let's fall back and set up the crossfires. He decided to push through middle, got taken down, and the round just fell apart at that point. And now poor Spiro trying to save the AWP, which is good news. The good thing is about the AWP on this map, especially on the CT side, just one weapon like that can actually dictate the pace of the round. He can go towards B, go for that aggressive pick, fall back towards A, and start funneling them where he wants them to go. So if he does manage to make that happen, if he has a decent spawn, then that's something that could get a little bit exciting, yeah.
No ideal spawn anywhere for him. We'll see. We'll see how they want to try and utilize this. I'm hoping we see it trying to make a bit of a play, try and make a bit of a dent in mousesports so far, and it looks like mousesports heading over towards B this time in a 4-1 play. Again, coming out with the AWP not to be over by A. Maybe that's a bit of a play coming out from these boys on the CT side, switching up where they're keeping that AWP predominantly. But we'll find out if that actually works out for them at this point, because there's a lot of players lining up for what looks like a very scripted, a very choreographed piece towards that B site. All players now from Kinguin have to respond. mouz is completely blinded up. Doesn't matter, Dennis was there. He turned the flashes well enough himself and got through it, and yes, indeed. Now look at this, a 3v3 suddenly. Ryland finds use for the Zeus as well. Now it's the Sparrow who has to be useful in this too. Ryland does not have armor, and Ryland's slowly creeping through the smoke, and he finds it. Oscar falls. This is massive now. ChrisJ in the 1v2. A kit on Sparrow as well, and there it is. Nails him to the ground, and that is brilliantly played in the end. Coming through from those two, Ryland and Sparrow.
Yeah, that's all you need sometimes, that one AWP and a Zeus apparently. That kicked things off.
That's
yeah. And it looked like a very promising round there. That's normally how you want to be operating as anti-ecos. Default to kick things off, then a set piece to segregate any CTs waiting on the other side, but that all can be so difficult to work with. And especially when Spirit's hitting shots like that. He actually did a very good job to jump on the rock as well. Hits the first shot, good HE grenade, and nothing ChrisJ could do to win the round. As soon as he found one kill, quickly replied by the CTs. But once again, only one player survives. They have to fully invest back into this round. And Spirit will be boosted towards drop down here. Not going to find anything, but he hears a lot of footsteps, so he'll be dropping that incendiary towards the upper platform.
Yeah, and don't make the assumption that drop is completely clear. Dennis and Lowell were taking their time. They were sitting quite far back, so now the threat comes in, but Ryland's aware of it, doesn't let that slip at all for a second. Now mousesports going to have to operate with merely 4. Bit of a problem, but we'll see what they can do to try and just get around this. Smoke goes down from mouz towards the plateau, and mousesports hit the brakes, maybe looking for a way back in, see if there's anyone they can catch out aggressively. Allow Oscar a little bit of time to play, but never easy to make the pick towards drop here with that AWP, but he certainly fancies his odds.
1 minute remaining. We do have a few smokes to work with here. Looks like they'll be focusing towards drop down. Probably get Oscar in that position once again, see if we can open things up. Speedy will just be escorting him, but unfortunately, Ryland, he's going to be ruining the party straight away, and it's going to be a 5-on-2, just like that.
Yeah, Ryland's the guardian of drop. He's not let anyone through there. First kill was interesting. The ones following, absolutely sublime. So now Lowell and ChrisJ, you're kind of left with very limited options, and they know they're going to try and just throw themselves in towards drop. Lowell does find Ryland, so I guess that's the first step in the right direction, but ChrisJ has a lot of steps to take. That's a great one, though. Mishu falling means that now it's a 1v2. Now he just has to pick his poison. He hears the AWP shot go, and now ChrisJ turns his attention towards the other side, but no, can't land the shot. Furlan a little better. And Kinguin have stabilized this game after what looked a little bit like it was going to be a bit of a bashing.
Yeah, absolutely. They've done a decent job now, managing to find the last 3 rounds out of 4. They've got the 3-0 as well, so they're bringing this back to a respectable scoreline, and they've broken the money for mousesports here. So 4 UMPs. A very strange scene to see this towards the later stages of the half, but we'll see what they can do with it. And that's going to suggest to me something very quick to move towards drop down. Ryland's been a bit of a nuisance there, and they'll be boosting once again. So will he commit to the boost and actually? Oh, he does. Okay, this could be a little bit exciting now.
Timing on Lowell, let's see how it is. Well, Ryland does get him down, but the plan's kind of over for Ryland. He needs to back away, but Still, great initial damage, and now mouz can kick into gear, but no, Spiddy's better. He finds it, and now they trade out. They get this one back to a 4v4, but the damage is still dealt. mousesports dealing with Christian on 4 HP. Dennis, yeah, a little bit lower, but the problem is that now the nades can come raining in. They've still got more. They've still got flashes. They've still got everything with the CT side. This is tough for mousesports to find a way through on.
Yeah, it should be round over this point, especially when Oscar drops as well. Spear in a fantastic position to close a round out. Dennis maybe finds a redundant frag at this point. 3 versus 1, 7 HP. You feel like his chances are very limited at this point. He does have an opportunity to get the bomb down. The CT is almost gifting him that, but they seem to be aware as well. Now he's dropped that smoke. They'll probably be pintering him, and indeed they are. Rylan coming in from the B halls.
Feels like a matter of time for Dennis. 7 HP. I guess a bit of a hope and a prayer at this point. And Furlan gonna secure this one. So, Kinguin, after what was actually a bit of a rocky game at the start, seemed to find a bit of footing back into this one. So he might be treated to the competitive matchup that I guess you were calling out at the very start, that this is a far better map for Kinguin. mousesports, it looked good on Nuke, but let's find out how they can do in the second half coming up in this game in just a moment's time. (7-8) on the half. Kinguin trailing, but not by much. mousesports obviously looked very good in the first map, but this one seems a little bit more to handle.
Yeah, they were actually 3-0 down, and we thought Kinguin, okay, as I speculated, I thought they were going to really give them a good beating on this map, but didn't really seem to be the case. As soon as mousesports got the guns in their hands, actually looked like a pretty solid unit. Lots of execution-based play there, and Cbble, not necessarily known as like a home mousesports map. They can certainly play it, but they've had some really horrible results in that in the past, some big events, but that actually looked pretty good for them, considering this is the first showing with this lineup. So I'm actually impressed once again by them. They managed to have the lead at the end of the half, and Kinguin now, pressure applied to them once more as they swap over to the T side. I'll be interested to see whether they employ a similar tactic to mousesports. Like I said, most top teams these days, smoking towards connector, focusing on that B site, and trying to go very quickly. And normally throwing a Tech 9 here or there.
Well, we're going to find out any second now. Kinguin's T-sides, something that a lot of people look at and say is probably their better side on this one, or just throughout most of their map pools, to be fair. They do seem to have these very well-constructed rounds. They put a lot of time in. We'll see if it comes through.
Well, there's the one smoke, 3 sets of armor as well, make it 4. And in terms of the CT buy, we have Speedy as the utility players, got a couple of flashbangs and a diffuse kit, surrounded by 4 sets of armor as well. They'll be sending 3 players towards the B site, and normally the CTs like to go aggressive towards mid doors as well. B's a very common spot, as I said. We're seeing a lot of players push for those mid doors now, trying to get the pincer going, and let's say the execution becoming in momentarily. To be fair, mouz is the player with the smoke, and he's towards A, and we know the smoke can be thrown to connector from this position, and that's where his teammates are rotating towards as well.
I wonder how they're going to play this one out. It looks, obviously it looks pretty well constructed. Seems like they have a plan in mind so far.
There's
and here we
the
go. Let's see what mouz does with this smoke as well.
Yeah, towards
Goes
connector.
straight over. Yeah, that is going towards the doors, so it allows them, I guess, to play through middle a little bit quicker, play ahead of it. mouz, he does have the P250, but he's not really the kind of, I guess, meat of the sandwich. He's not the player to be doing all the work here, so we'll see how the rest of them get on. They are actually making their play through towards the site. The support arrived from Cbble. Oscar falls, and this is a beautiful piece from Kinguin. I guess flipping what we'd expect on its head, hitting A very well, and a 3-man retake is looking quite tough for mousesports.
Absolutely. They do have the kit here, but 5 players to find, and another one goes down. Mihu hits a headshot there with the Glock. Chris J, though, trying to battle back here. At this point, it feels like Constellation frags. Any kill he can get to worth $300, but waiting for his teammate to rotate in. It's Lal, and they might just be submitting here and saving the defuse kit. That's worth $400, and along with the body armor as well. Yeah,
off we go. Kinguin, though, a lovely little piece towards A.
Yeah, well, like I said, most teams focusing on this kind of idea now, just throwing one smoke into one specific area. It's normally towards B, but that's the smoke is quite common these days, going towards outside long. You can throw it. It's quite a challenging smoke. You have to run and jump with it, and it goes straight into the connector. It buys your team enough time as well. As soon as the smoke's released, they can actually get themselves positioned up towards the mid-ramp, and as soon as they finally find some sort of commitment from the CTs in terms of a face, the smoke's bloomed, and they're actually locked out of that situation. But mousesports, of course, they love a force buy. Chris J back on that scout, and we saw what happened on Nuke. Yeah.
Yeah, I never doubt this guy. I remember being baffled when he used to stick on the scout over the AWP, and then he'd prove me wrong every time I brought that up. He'd just do something ridiculous with it, especially on Dust 2. It's such a good map for him. That's out of the pool now. But so we'll see what he can achieve here. We've got the 3-man play towards long, a bit of a stack coming out from mousesports. Again, trying to utilize the pistols to the best of their ability and the limited options they have.
Well, here we go then. There were 3 CTs towards the A long position, actually thinking better of it and falling all the way back now. I guess maybe they faced towards the aggressive position and saw, okay, Chris, don't even let me finish my point. It's kind of rude. Another headshot for him. That was actually pretty beautiful, considering that player was boosted up as well.
I don't see anyone else using the scout to this sort of capability. And, well, he's not giving up Plateau either. He's staying out on this. Pre-firing the spot, getting flashed constantly, but he's holding ground. He's forcing Kinguin to respect this as well. They're going to have to maybe consider options, and Dennis will be holding down middle. Long is a problem. That's the next threat. You can see Oscar and Spitty trying to get into a position to deal with that in the background, but Dennis takes a bit of a tussle towards mid, but backs away, readjusts. And this is a good round so far from mousesports. They're being a pest. They're not allowing Kinguin just to run over them. And you can see the switch around of weapons happening as well. Just that UMP into Furlan's hands here.
The advantage still lies in the CT's favour, but the detector where Dennis is, and he's done considerable damage, taking 2 players down to 2 HP, but it might not be enough here, considering Oscar, he's at the back of the deagle. Very common position here, and Molotov, doesn't go in on his feet, but very close.
Will they check? You've got to hope they check.
Yeah, they wouldn't plan around checking this. That'd be nuts.
We'll see. We'll see what they go for. Chris J's already got himself down. They are going to check it. Damage again. They're so low, but low is not enough. Kinguin just about keep things together on such limited HP. I think it was Furlan and Ralin, then both. Minute amount of health left, but look, let's just watch this again. Chris J, it's just dirty. It's like the rail from Quake. I don't know how he seems to have that and no one else does.
Yeah, that was a beautiful shot, but not enough to win the round, unfortunately. No. Dennis doing some considerable damage towards middle of the CZ as well, but he can't find the frags required, and Kinguin just about scrape that round together. But this one should be a bit more convincing to go up against just default pistols here. Not a single dollar invested into round number 3. 4-man stack to actually make a 3-man stack towards the platform. And at this point, Kinguin don't want to give anything away. They try to drop down room here, and Molotov allows them to focus towards the window. And they want to be keeping 5 players alive here, but unfortunately, Speedy takes down Furlan.
Yeah, so Sparrow wanting to get the action as well with that Mac 10, try and build up some funds for himself. Speedy, I don't know if you're going to get any more here. Good work already finding one, perfectly fine. You don't expect to get much from this if you're just on those UMPs. And Sparrow just shuts it out with that Glock in the end, rather than Mac 10, a bit of a shame. But still, money's fine. Certainly okay going forward, but Kinguin now get themselves a nice buffer to work with. They're actually leading in the instance. Now mousesports have their chance to find a bit of a rebuttal to this. Oscar straight onto the AWP this time. Did we not see him doing this the other way around? Or maybe this is just a map he wants to AWP on?
Oh, yeah. It's obviously not going to be solidified just yet in terms of the roles. So they're obviously just saying, okay, do you feel like it? What do you want to be doing this time? And we'll see whether it works out for them. Oscar's on the glass cannon, though, so maybe he has had a little bit more money and he wants to see what he can do with this weapon. Towards B we go, though, and there will be 4 players from Kinguin. This is a huge round, and if they can pick this one up, it's going to be almost certainty they get the 5-0. That's why that second round force by is always a little bit scary for the CTs. 1 Mac 10, though, in the hands of Spiro, and there's 3 players, make it 4 without head armor, so he can actually cause a lot of damage with that weapon.
He's being a bit of a nuisance as well. Dennis is being kept here by this a little bit of attention. We'll see if this actually works out. Christian's tucked himself in the corner as well. Lol's flashed out, so Christian is very much alone here. And they're surely going to check on this. They do. Absolutely clinical. First thing on the checklist to go through, but the one thing they didn't account for was Lol. Rather than Fallon going to full foul to that, but now the bomb is loose. Mishu tries to find the reply, and he does it. That's Speedy gone, so now a little bit more play here into this round. Dennis is still pretty far away, and Oscar wants to get out from that instant threat that was coming towards him, so he backs away a little bit. And Mishu hits a blinder. That's not what you expect to be seeing. Now, Dennis, not clean, not pretty, but he gets the job done. Now it's a 1v1.
Indeed it is. Mishu, 35 seconds remaining as well, but Dennis, actually quite a nice position to get in towards here. Towards connector, and Mishu has not planted, so he's actually a little bit worried that he's coming in from that upper platform position. We'll be scouting around, but time ticking away now. Dennis probably lost track of where he's actually going to be heading towards.
Yeah, no kit for Dennis. There's one on the site yet. The bomb's going to go down for Mishu, so I guess Dennis at least knows where he's heading towards. But the problem is Mishu is hitting shots, and that was another one of them. So for him that round, they were absolutely beautiful. So Kinguin, we're starting to see that T-side that we expect to see. That
sure.
Quite powerful, quite nicely constructed, and very well-rounded approach.
Well then, in terms of the buy now for Mouse Sports, we said it was almost be a certainty it'd be the 5-0 coming in. That's currently 4-0. Can't really afford to buy into this round, so PG50, 5-7, CZ, 1 smoke up against Kinguin's 4 AKs, and Spiro sticking on that Mac 10 as well. So not really much he can do here. This was going to be very powerful in CSGO, but I just don't really see them amounting to too much here, especially on the CT side, and they'll be spread pretty thin as we get into round number 5 here. In terms of the actual setup for the CTs, 2 towards that actual B side itself, 1 in connector, and then he wanted to have a look towards long A once again, but thinking better of it once more, and they might be rotating at the worst time possible, as there are 2 players heading towards long A for Kinguin.
The timing's going to be just brilliant on long, but still, they're already starting to show control towards drop. Great timing on the flash, actually, from Speedy then, I think. It pretty much completely blinded Sparrow, but he still got the kill, just holding down Mouse 1. The Mach 10 certainly has enough bullets to do it with. And now Dennis actually will find Mouse, but will they expect another player on long? Will they just think maybe that's one man trying to go on a bit of a mission? They're going to check for it. They're certainly looking for this. And Mishu last round had a fantastic time. They have a nice little bit of a score padding time again. So 4 alive for Kinguin. Mouse was down to 2. The last 2 players are on B, and the bomb is not to be seen.
Yeah, 4 and 2 now. Christian and Lau going towards that B site, and the bomb's heading towards A, and they're locked in as well. Not really much I can do about this, but Lau's in a decent position. But okay, I was about to say will be caught by Ryan as he's looking in the other direction, but manages to hit the shot. Can actually pick up an AK here, which he certainly does. Not going to win in the round, but if he can save it, that'd be something to work with.
And I think Mousesports at this point going to start needing pretty much everything they can get. Chris J going to kind of go for this. He's only got a P250. And now he just has a nade and half HP. Fantastic for him. Having a good time. Noel getting tagged up 2. And Kinguin want to get in their faces here. They want to get these guns away. They still have that Mac 10 up, so Suspero can make some more money. And there it is, just going to fall right into his pocket. And Noel is going to back away from this, wants to keep the AK. And you can't really blame him.
Yeah, to be fair, Mousesports were going to maximum loss bonus there from Eniko as well, so trying to see what they can do with the AK. They still have it in their hands here. Now 43 HP, should get this kill. Ooh, okay, I thought that was me almost guaranteed at that point, but they'll be smoking out the terrorist and taking him down as well. So good job by him. Should be saving this point. The 2 terrorists can't do anything about this. So overall, that's actually a pretty decent round, finding 3 terrorist kills, and managing to save the AK into the next round as well will help buffer his money going forward. Here's a replay. I'm not 100% sure what happened here. Let's have a look. Okay, so it's the other side. We did see those kills, and pretty simple ones, but they will count.
Well, it looks like the answer that Mousesports want to go to is the double AWP. You've got 2 very viable players for it. So, again, we saw a little bit of a nuke, but it wasn't really a pressure situation. This, however, is. So Dennis going to drop out the fast smoke, allow the peek. Not sure if that's as perfectly on as needed, but it'll do the job no matter what. And Kinguin get halted. It means they can't really pressure too much towards that platform just yet. Lol gets a little bit more free reign. Can drop the nade and allow Chris J to take over the reins.
Double AWP setup. Oscar and Chris J. Quite a scary combo on paper, I'd say. We'll see whether it lives up to expectations.
It's an interesting play. You've got the 2 up on long, 2 on platform, and then Spitty just sat very passively by drop. So Kinguin could be given a fair bit of control here. This will be interesting to see where Mousesports find those fights in the end. Oscar's holding the thinnest of angles here. Suspero mishu might be in trouble. You can see the flashes coming in, though. Gives away the position, but there's still support, and that is Dennis. But not so much impact as wanted, I can imagine. Oscar's going to try and back away, but there is a man waiting in danger.
Oh.
But, oh my word, the dangerous man in there is Oscar. And now still on the run, trying to get back, trying to find safety somewhere. You've got 3 players around you, but still ready to take that fight. And mishu is so desperately expecting Oscar to be around here somewhere.
Well, that smoke will deny him vision. Probably the fullback at this point towards the side, but doesn't actually fancy at this point. He is towards top of middle, taking his teammates down as well. He could have done something about that if he did fall back. Now he's left himself in a really tricky position there with that AWP.
I don't know how he's going to fight his way out of this. You've got Rallen behind you, you've got Furlan to your right. You're pretty much screwed
Yes,
unless they just
surely.
kind of look the wrong way. And oh my word, there you go. Finally, it all kicks in. Rallen finds him, but still, that seemed a little bit dangerous at times. But Lol and Chris J going to have to play back into this one, and it's not something fun to be working with here, especially after that nade just trickles towards your feet.
Well, that double orb setup does not work in mousesport's favour. They had the crossfire as well towards long A. The idea is the AWP baits in that player, hiding towards the hay bales. He got Molotov out of position. He couldn't find a frag at that point. Oscar did what he could. He finds one towards danger. He's retreating as well, and he gets down towards the bottom of the middle. Once he was smoked out there, that's what I'm saying. Surely that's the cue to fall back there. Please, the teammates allow him to actually play off you with that AWP, but not meant to be. Al finds 1 kill, but gives away his position. They'll just be saving the weapons once again. Chris J finds a secure spot to keep his AWP in hand. It doesn't look like they'll be hunting this time, but we'll have a look at the money. Mousesports, to be fair, Lau's got 7k, so he's managed to save weapon 2 rounds in a row. Here's the nice little shot from Oscar, though.
If it was Semler, I'm sure Peekaboo would have been heard. But 13-8 is the one thing we know right now. And Kinguin, I've got to say, I do enjoy their T-sides. It's something that I know a lot of people's eyes in this game will be on Mousesports and that new kind of roster coming in or coming back together. But for me, it's been enjoyable to see what Kinguin can bring here, especially after that absolute beatdown that was Nuke. It's kind of hard to, I guess, mentally reset after such a grueling game, but they've certainly found a way back in, and this T-side really does complement them well on this map. Specifically, I guess they do have a decent record on it historically as well, so then they've caused a couple of upsets on. So we'll see what Mousesports can do now. They're certainly going to ask a couple of questions. How much depth do they have with this roster now? How much can they really go to? I wanted to see maybe a little bit more aggression from Dennis, possibly. We saw it on Nuke, but, it's not exactly easy to do that on Cbble.
Well, that's one of the main headlines of this map and the criticisms it gets. The CT options are very limited in terms of finding those first frags. It's normally only the AWPers who can do anything about it. You have the boost towards drop down, the aggressive face towards long A, or facing the platform. That's all you can really do on the CT side. It doesn't really lend itself to creative play on that CT side. So we'll see whether Mousesports can do anything with this. I'm not going to call it a force, but they said in AWP, they're going to do what they can. There's 1 UMP Speedy right now. Well, I won't go into too much detail. We keep the screen up for a reason, so you don't get too much information on the buy, but he's waiting to see what he's going to bring into round number 7 here. So far, Mousesports haven't picked up a single round in the second half after losing the pistol. But a technical pause. I thought it would be tactical.
Yeah, we're getting into that territory at least, especially if you're Mousesports now.
Yeah.
You've got to be asking questions of yourselves. And is there an easy answer in your mind to this, or is it so far Mousesports really do need to come up with something quite special here?
It's just Kinguin playing good fundamental CS. They'd be winning the clutches as well. You get that pistol, you get the 3-0. And Mousesports starting to experiment with the buys coming in. The double orb setup hasn't really been working for them. It's a very difficult map, like we said, for reasons you can't really go super aggressive. Your star players can't really kick off, and they're not giving the chance to if you're losing frags at either side of the map and they're just rotating between positions. It can be very difficult to actually make anything happen. But Oscar, he's going to try and mix things up. Here's another option for the CDs at the start. You can smoke and try and get that first pick, but doesn't fully commit. Chris J goes down.
At long as well. I guess if you're Mousesports, you wouldn't have thought they'd predict the AWP to then be on long as well with the double AWP. You'd maybe think they're on both sides, but Oscar still stays alive at least, so there's still an AWP up on this side. I don't think they'll be able to get that AWP back out from middle as well. Kinguin have 3 players, eyes trained pretty close to it.
Yeah, this is almost perfect. So they've pulled Oscar away from the A side after finding that pick and B as well, and they've actually changed their setup. Looks like they're actually going to be feeling out towards the A side as well, and Dennis flashing through. Does he dare go any further than this flashbang? The AWP's waiting for him. Okay, just about falls back in time. So Dennis gets a bit of information to work with here, and now Oscar, he is in a really good position. Might be flashed out, and the duel comes in. No one hitting a shot just yet.
But they're getting such good information for Kinguin.
Yeah, they keep just working out what that AWP is.
Yeah.
Right? So.
Oscar's not getting away with anything, which is the problem. Dennis is looking for that aggression. The work from on Nuke, he does find one, but can't back away from it. Punished instantly. And still nothing really gained, nothing lost. There was presence shown over by Kinguin by B. You saw Oscar having that little bit of a duel out, then you saw the presence coming in towards long. So it's hard now for Mousesports. Where do we put ourselves? What do we do with this? Lol can't leave A. You've got Spiddy now playing quite passive towards drop. And then you've got Oscar being pretty much the end of the line here. And mousesports definitely need him to come up with something at this point.
Certainly do. He's still towards B. And I'm having a look at the minimap right now. Mouz, Kinguin Mouz that is, makes his way towards long A, and he's just going to throw in some sort of fake here. He's making a lot of noise, trying to pull over anyone he can. He's just firing redundant shots at that point, but they're not going to buy it. Oscar's hitting absolutely everything.
And the time is running out, and Oscar is the master of it at the moment. 10 seconds remain. Mouz is nowhere to be found. Player for Kinguin, of course, and Oscar, he was the end of the line, and it certainly was for that round coming in from Kinguin. It was a nice foray into the round from Kinguin. It seems as though they had a nice approach to it, but you still have to take him down.
Yeah, well, Mouz tried to do what he could. You could see the time ticking away, and he just runs out long A, fires his AK while he's trying to pull something over there. But Oscar in position, ready for it, and we said he had to find something in that round. He hits his 20th frag, and maybe, just maybe, a lifeline for mousesports here as we enter round number 8. So they managed to keep a decent number of lives there. So 3 players surviving. So the reset potential is definitely still there if they lose this round, but it's not as devastating as it could have been.
Now we'll see what Kinguin now bring to the table as well. Early smoke goes in. You can see the boost coming out. The orb up above. Lol could be in a little bit of a predicament, but no, not the case. The early smoke coming through is certainly going to help that out. So Kinguin not going to be gifted any early chances at this point.
Not quite yet, but full default for now. Square boosted up and towards the upper platform position. The Molotov won't do any damage to him, but it will to his teammates, and then Lau strikes first. Okay, with the AK-47, wins the duel there.
And look at Lol just crouching up. He's looking for these fights so actively. He's got ChrisJ beside him. I guess you've got support on that, but very brave to be just stood out there. Now going to back away. So showing a little bit of presence, falling off from it. Maybe mousesports starting to feel out this map at the moment. Dennis left very much alone, long boosted up there. He could have some problems if he doesn't check it. I can imagine he might have a little glimpse. And now Dennis... Oh, God, that could have been so much worse, but in the end, it just trades out for him. It's a 3v4. mousesports still have the man advantage, so they still have a little bit more flex to play with. They don't have to overcommit anywhere just yet, and Oscar is still the warden of this A site.
He certainly is with the AWP as well. You feel like he's about to hit a shot momentarily as he goes towards middle. There it is, takes down Rylan, and it's going to be a 4-on-2 now. And no reason for the CDs to commit at this point. Just get trades, wait for the commitment to come in from Kinguin, and it should be round secured.
Yeah, especially with the time running so low. Oscar is adjusting so well. Look at this guy. Doesn't feel the need to run through that. He's fine over here. He's done more than enough right now. Maybe that's the answer mousesports needed. Just putting Oscar into the action, get him up on the AWP, get everyone else in the right position. And Kinguin are running this time down incredibly far as well. They're running down to the last 20 seconds in most of these rounds now.
Well, this round should be quite an interesting one. Kinguin now to the very last of their economy. It's going to be 3 AK-47s and Spiro with the Tech 9, running with the UMP as well. This suggests some sort of execution has to come in very quickly. Chad talked about the T-spawn smokes. They like to throw in towards B, and they will be committing straight away. First frag not coming in quite yet. Everyone's flashed, and ChrisJ, he'll open things up.
An absolute carpet bomb of flashes came through, but it doesn't matter. Mouz come out of it completely fine in the end. 5 alive. ChrisJ taking a bit of damage, but even sometimes the best made plans don't always work out here, and now just a Sparrow left, and he knows this is not a nice situation to be in. Lol will at least fall to his hand, but any more is starting to get a little bit of a reach on that, and there we go. Will be shut down in the end by Dennis, and mousesports certainly building back into this one. We're getting the match we wanted.
Absolutely. Kinguin, we thought they were going to run away with it, but mousesports, especially the likes of Oscar and now ChrisJ in that previous round as well, managing to get themselves in an actually feasible situation to win this one. And it will be an eco at this stage for Kinguin. They managed to get a couple of sets of body armor here, P250s, and just 2 Tech 9s, 2 smokes once again. And I was surprised that round didn't have more impact than it should have done, potentially. All the smokes are perfect, lots of flashbangs, but everyone jumped off the upper platform, flashed themselves, and mousesports ran away with the round. But Michu, he does find something with the P250 to kick things off there.
Okay, of course, the P250's the one. The nade doesn't actually get around the corner either, so he stays alive. ChrisJ now utilising that slightly deeper position that was just put in not too long ago as well. That's a nice new touch, but at the moment, not too many threats on the board after that initial little bit of damage that came through towards Low. A little bit of a, I guess a bit of a blow for him, a little bit of a knockback, but beyond that, it shouldn't go too far, but this P250 is causing a lot more problems than expected. Speedyzo had enough of this, and we're almost back all even now. We're getting very close to this one now, 12-13, and I can imagine this might be the tactical timeout.
Yes, for Kinguin this time. So, going into the next round, it's going to be 13-12 in favour of Kinguin still, but in terms of the previous rounds, it's going to be 4 against them after winning the first 6. So this is actually looking a little bit rough for them. I think Oscar's been a difference maker overall, been fantastic with the AWP, just controlling the play towards the B side, hitting absolutely everything. He's moving around the map as well, winning clutches for them. So we'll see whether Kinguin can bounce back here. I'll have a look at that buy. I won't break it down just yet. But still rolling that double AWP setup will be mouz Sports, of course. Chris J and Oscar looking like quite a deadly duo. And I guess on paper it sounds quite tantalizing, and so far living up to expectations, especially Oscar.
Yeah, Oscar, this was the map, I guess, back when he was originally with this roster that caused so many kind of bits of confusion where he was meant to be AWP, he just refused. You can see him dropping it time and time again to Chris J. They kept giving it back to him, and that was just the previous event prior to him leaving the team, being asked to leave, however you want to see that one going down. But this was the map that it happened on. He was completely and utterly blocked out, and then I think he was envious of playing at one of the Gfinity events quite some time ago now, I guess. But yeah, so clearly finding confidence, and it was quite a unique statement he put out afterwards as well, saying that he felt he let himself down and his team down. He's very hard on himself in that aspect, but so far he seems to maybe find this roster to work with him. Maybe again, not having to be constantly under the pressure of performing. You've got someone like Nico, putting up numbers. Well, might work for him.
We know Oscar's a very emotional player. Yep. Like the pressure gets to him a little bit too much sometimes, and we have said Nico, yes, he's an amazing player, but you can see him having a lot of frustration with this lineup and emoting.
Sometimes rightly so as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. But I guess we saw Dennis and Nuke look a lot more comfortable, taking some risks, and now Oscar, he's looking like he's hitting a lot more shots. So maybe this lineup does have some legs to it. We'll see whether they can continue this form into round number 11 now. It's quite limited buy for Kinguin. They do have, I think it's a 4th stage loss bonus, enough to buy up with the AK-47s, no AWP this time. Oscar changes position once again. This will be a little bit of a one-way swing. I think there's a slight gap in it for him to try and experiment and see whether he can get something going. Boosted up, in fact. So here we go.
Is he going to be... I don't think he can be seen. Is he still just off to the right as well? And these steps are going to be heard. Got to be a little bit careful now. Furlan, mouz, Mishu, and Cbble all around that area. If they got that frag, if they got that opening opportunity, they could have hit that A site pretty darn quickly. But for now, LOL and Chris J as well. Look at this aggression throughout the map. They really are not allowing Kinguin any step towards this without having to take some sort of fights. Every area could be a contested sort of piece of ground. Now, Oscar's going to be under a little bit of strain now. You can see that Molly's starting to burn, and Dennis and Oscar going to be asked a lot here. They have to stop this before it starts, and they do. Already, Oscar finds one. No one's really watching middle right now. That is a little bit of a danger, but Oscar just going to work around it, going to back away through the smoke, leave now Dennis to come into the action, and he's done just that. Really nicely played so far by mouz.
Yeah, he's actually looking very good. Dennis, he was actually covered by Oscar there as well. Didn't have to overcommit to that situation, getting a bit ahead of himself. They do have the man advantage for now, and Lau will continue it as well. So recovered, no harm, no foul, I guess, but still a little bit of danger here. Dennis will be wishing he never made that commitment, but it's going to be me who, with just 6 HP, does have the bomb, making it towards the A side, but Lau, he finishes things off. So that was actually a really nice setup from mouz Sports there. Like going towards long A. Oscar takes all the attention away from the boost for Dennis, but after he gets that kill, I just don't understand why he runs around the corner by himself. He had the backup there just to stay in that position and bait the terrorist to be scared to walk around the corner.
It is strange to see it from a caliber of, a player of this caliber as such. It normally takes a little bit, I guess these players normally have a little bit more discipline, kind of understanding this. It was initially a really nice piece of synergy between the two players. So a little bit of a shame that didn't quite work out as far as it could have. But Oscar, right back at it. He's not going to take a break, and he's going to see that. And oh my word, Oscar plucks the head just off the shoulders of Furlan. That was just pixel perfect.
Yeah, really beautiful stuff there from Oscar. Double AWP setup still going strong, and Oscar seems to be finding the opening pick every single time in the last 5 or 6 rounds as we get into this one. 5-on-4. This was a limited buy from Kinguin as well. They have a Tech 9 and a UMP and 2 AKs and no map control to speak of. Nothing towards the B halls whatsoever. You can see Lyle, he's just patrolling the upper platform towards B, and they're actually focusing now in terms of the city setup towards A, and that's where the AWPs are both going to be as well. And Oscar looking to find the next frag here. Might be a little bit unlucky with the timings as the player jumps across him.
You can see Dennis trying to swing into the action, find somewhere to just kind of lock it down, allow Oscar some more freedom, but he doesn't hit the shot on the cross. That's a problem. And now here we go. Let's see how much pressure Kinguin can put on. Finally have a chance, so they didn't account for Dennis. And Dennis gets 3 players basically pouring towards him. And now Speedy has to be asked the next question. Can he step up? No, gets run over again. Kinguin yet to make it to the site, though, and Chris J is still alive. LOL on the flank as well. His positioning, his timing has been good so far. And we've got mouz left alive for Kinguin in a 1v2.
Yep. Smoke in hand, but the bomb is down for now. It's just in front of him, so that's not a huge deal. 30 seconds remaining. You can see him hunting for another kill here before he commits to the plant. As soon as he goes to that plant, he's out of the round for 4 seconds. So he needs to make sure he's absolutely safe here. And now time's ticking away. Oh, I don't think this was the play to make, as he's now found himself exposed and still has to plant.
He was so desperately looking for one of these players, find an angle, find somewhere to make something happen, but with 10 seconds remaining, and LOL already spotting him earlier, just denied anything before it started, and mousesports finally take this lead back in their hands.
They certainly do. It's going to be 6 rounds to get things off for Kinguin, and now mousesports return their favour with 6 rounds in a row themselves, and another difficult buy for Kinguin. 14-13, 4 AKs, a UMP, double orb setup, still going to be causing troubles here. But what's the reply from Kinguin? Maybe just go for a fast B again, use those same smokes we saw from T-Spawn, and hopefully they can just use the flashbangs to try and break through that upper platform position.
Well, LOL so far loves a bit of aggression up here, so we'll see if he can get anywhere close again. Might not be the case this time. Molly's going to just allow him to... Ooh, my word. If that spread any further, he'd be in trouble. We're going to find out right now. You can see that carpet bomb of flashes coming in, but ChrisJ is still fine. And oh, what a flash comes through as well. LOL allowed to create mayhem amongst the ranks for Kinguin, as now just Nishu left alive. Surrounded on all fronts, and LOL plays it off well. Cool, calm, and collected under pressure.
Yeah, Kinguin looking a bit desperate at this point. Slow default to kick things off, and then all the smokes and flashbangs come in, but they overlook that corner position. The AWP is taking all the aggro away, and Lau, he couldn't believe his luck. He faces, and there's obviously no Molotovs at his terrorist at that point. They're just hoping no one's there. He finds 2 kills, and round over, and potentially the match as well. 2 UMPs, 3 AKs, and very, very little in terms of utility. So then, aggression once again coming from Oscar towards long 8. Let's see whether he can do anything with this. Mihu comes dangerously close to walking to his crosshair. Could actually happen here. He'll be facing towards long 8, and so ready for it. It's Oscar, blows his head off.
Watching this guy play when he's feeling confident is actually so enjoyable. Seems confident, really nice approach to it. And there's still ChrisJ as well. They've still got such control over by B. Kinguin have nowhere to work with. They've got drop, and that's it. And Speedy's playing all the way outside of it. I guess that's something to be exploited at this point, but so far yet to even be tested by this. And Kinguin, 2 UMPs, just having to try and pull this back together. Let's see if Speedy can do much here. Has to be careful and no one can just walk out of drop and just pressure the likes of ChrisJ, but LOL's now got his attention towards it. With 1 minute left, it's not looking likely for Kinguin, but there's still just enough time for maybe them to string something together here.
Yeah, it's going to be real rough. They've got 1 smoke and a couple of flashbangs. That's about it. No map control really to speak of. I say that they're rolling this towards drop down by the window. They'll be going for some sort of A split here, I would imagine. And a teammate will be joining him as well. So what's the play here? They desperately need a pick, and not really given anything so far.
Got 30 seconds left. They need to be going pretty quick now. LOL's going to fall back. He's going to start playing to the time here. ChrisJ's got to be careful because no one's watching the push out of drop. That's a problem. ChrisJ is now in the open, and the threat suddenly appears. Kinguin might just do this. There's 2 players remaining now for mouz. 20 seconds though, will they expect LOL? They still check for it. Great play under pressure coming from Kinguin. And the problem is that if Kinguin get this round and their mousesports close, Matt is actually correct on his prediction. And Dennis is now left with almost the impossible task here.
Well, okay then. He goes down to 12 HP, but you're absolutely right. Kinguin there doing the impossible. I thought that round was done for. They lose the first kill, but all of a sudden the UMP comes to life. They swarm that B bomb site. It's going to be a very successful round overall. Just what the doctor ordered at this point after losing 7 rounds in a row. God. And they're looking down the barrel of match points as well for the 2nd time against mousesports. I guess a weakened mousesports now, if you're going to be objective about it. And they managed to find a round just about and bring the scoreline to 15-14. We'll be seeing all 30 rounds here. Dennis saving his weapon. There must be a lot of money available for mousesports overall. Yeah, got Oscar on 10k, Dennis with 7k, saving a weapon as well. So money won't be an issue. They might bring that double orb set up once again. We'll see whether they decide to do it as we head into the final round here of the 2nd map. If you're just joining us, you missed an interesting affair on Nuke. It was actually mousesports just battering Kinguin, 16-5. And Kinguin looked like they bounced back quite significantly here, but mousesports on themselves match point number 2.
Double AWP on both sides as well. So Felon and Sparrow picking up the previous, and now, of course, with ChrisJ and Oscar's money being as robust as it was, they're right back on it as well. So Kinguin given the last chance to basically throw themselves back into this one. But long has been pretty much mousesports' domain. That's been the Oscar and Dennis showdown. We saw a little bit of an issue before. Ooh. Somehow it doesn't do as much damage as expected, but still, Dennis, well aware there could be possibilities, starting to walk around that corner, and oh god, timing could be so deadly here.
He's backed up by Oscar, so for now he's okay. He's done some significant damage to kick things off here. Flashbang's good though. It's up to Dennis to really do something about the situation. He can't find the frag. He knew who to open things up, and Oscar can't find the return kill either.
First time in a while, it seems that Kinguin are getting these opening picks too. It's always been Oscar. It's always been maybe Lol pushing up on B, and he's actually done this again, which is great for Lol. He's got a great deal of map control. He's got to be careful because Rylan's over there too. But for now, it's all about A. You've got 3 players now pulling themselves over here. You've got Christian and Spiddy on the rotate, and this isn't bad, but Oscar's got to be careful. He could be pushed up in middle. Maybe he expected one of his teammates to have that, but it wasn't the case. Chris J, though, dances around, finds 2. Shoulder peeks in. Sparrow goes down as well. This is beautiful from Chris J. This man has put on a masterclass. And now 1 man remains. It's Rylan, and I don't fancy my odds against Chris J, let alone Lol on the flank. That was beautiful from Chris J, and that was the game.
Such an exciting finish there. Opening picks coming in there from Kinguin across the board. Look, they've done enough to force us to overtime. But Chris J, we know he's good with the AWP, but that was something very special indeed. 4 kills to finish it off, and mouz Sports closed the series out 2-0 as well. I didn't think anyone saw that coming, especially on Cbble as well. It's one of Kinguin's absolute best maps.
Well, someone who did see it coming, disgustingly enough, was Matt.
Yeah.
He predicted the exact scoreline, if I'm not mistaken, so I can't wait to see his smug face. But what a brilliant game, though. We actually see mouz Sports looking like maybe we've got a contender now.
Yeah, like normally when they go down 6-0, you just know they're never coming back from it. Now they didn't even have to take a pause. A couple of technical issues there, but they looked like they knew what the game plan was. They stuck to it. The double orbs come out and they recover. And actually managed to win 16-14. I'm very impressed.
Well, we are impressed over here. Guys on the desk, how are you feeling about that last map?
There is one member of our desk who is particularly happy with this one. Lauren, thank you. Yes, you guessed it. Sadakist has called it
Easiest prediction of my life.
16-14.
Told you, my predictions are always correct. I am never wrong.
It's hard enough sitting next to Matt as it is, but when he gets a prediction right, based off of absolutely no analysis at all.
That is horse poo. I knew they had Oscar, and I knew they had Chris J. Chris J on the rifle has been reliable.
2 of the 5 members.
And you look on the CT side, Oscar goes nuts in B. Last round, who steps up with an AWP? The second man who needs to. This double up potential on mouz Sports. No Nico to bring the rest of the team down. Watch out, lads.
To pull on a thread and to take a line, that line from Alex, you're right. Oscar basically turned the game around when it looked like they were out of it. He had some amazing plays. His ult was going off. He was going nuts. And yeah, you're right. Fantastic prediction, Matthew.
I mean, can we give?
I appreciate it,
we do
Chad.
have to kind of run with that for a moment. Not necessarily of the prediction being right, but
well, we could do that too. We could run with that if you want.
Okay, but also we could talk about the simple fact of the matter that mouz Sports just did what I don't think any of us were expecting. And I know that sometimes we see an underdog pick up a surprise win, but they've done it twice now. Nuke, a very convincing 16-5, and then you go into Kinguin, which, as Henry was saying, this is one of their very best maps. This is where they made VP sweat. You know, we've seen this team do spectacular things on Cbble, and mouz Sports, not only did they win it, they did it from a deficit. Like, this is just everything that they shouldn't be able to do right now. And so far, so good. Sure, online J, whatever, all of these different, you know, stupid excuses the community will come up with. But fantastic work from mouz Sports.
I'm a bit upset for Rylan. He was playing fantastically in that drop rune. He was doing a great job at locking that down. He was assisting his players towards the big platform as well. He also had a decent first map. And unfortunately, he dropped off on the second half, but unfortunately they weren't able to close that one out. It did look like their game. We saw those inventive smokes that they were doing, especially on that T-pistol. They threw the door smoke and ran straight up mid. I don't know. They're going to be very frustrated.
Oh, absolutely. Kinguin will be frustrated, but I think mouz Sports can kind of not breathe a sigh of relief by any stretch of the imagination, but you know what? For losing your star player, who a lot of people would, on analyst desks like we stand on now, or sit on, excuse me, we would have sat there and say Nico has to perform. Turns out,
I think there's a couple things to read into that. First and foremost, it's kind of what Chad said. They get to play more freedom. They get to play more into. Someone's got to fill in and step up those roles. If you look at frag distribution, it's very close. And the second is
Nico not bringing the team down.
There's no, there's no monster standing over them that like takes off his belt and gets ready to whip them and send them scurrying back into their rooms. Instead, he actually gets to step. They all get to step up. And they go, guys, we can do this together. We can do this.
Now
and there's no one to say, no, you can't. Do it this way. They get to play their own game.
Now they get milkshakes with whipped cream on top, Alex.
Why?
Sure.
Well, because they're all having fun.
They're having fun. Bit of whipped cream.
I want milkshake with whipped cream.
yeah, our casters are big fans of whipped cream as well. We'll be talking to them as we do venture into our next map. But we have to take a break before we can do that. We get a real good one next. We get to see basically David versus Goliath. Astralis are going to be taking on LDLC, defending world champions versus the newest addition to the Pro League. Will Maniac truly be able to go ahead and throw that pebble into Goliath's eye, or will it just prove a little too much? We'll find out after the break.
He's a maniac.